Assalamu alaikum warahmathullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Alhamdulillah. Today we're going to learn about our third major area, Al-Lisaan, the tongue. We're going to split this into two parts. Firstly, it's part A. Okay, in tongue, we have 4 different areas where the total of 18 letters being articulated. We have the deepest part of the back tongue, the middle part of the tongue, the edge or the side part of the tongue, and the tip of the tongue. Okay, we'll be looking at it one by one, inshallah. So in Al-Lisaan, we have a total of 10 articulation points for 18 letters. In Al-Lisaan, we have the Qaf and Kaf. And the middle tongue, we have the Shin, Jim, and Ya. Side of the tongue, or the edge of the tongue, we have Dad and Lam. In the tip of the tongue, we have 5 makhraj points for 11 letters. So in part A, we will look at the first 3, and in part B, we will look at Tarf al-Lisan separately. Okay, in Naqs al-Lisan, the back tongue, we have 2 makhraj points for 2 letters, and the first letter is Al-Qaf. Okay, Al-Qaf is a heavy letter, and we need to pronounce it heavily. Okay, it is articulated where the deepest part of the back tongue touches the upper soft palate. Okay, so when we say the soft palate, you can feel it, the soft palate, either with your back of the tongue itself. Okay, you can just say qa qa qa. You can see the muscles being the muscles touching each other. Okay, if not, the other way you can try is you use your tip of the tongue, place it right behind your top front 2 teeth, and then you just drag it along. Okay, this is our roof of the mouth, and if you go back, at some point you can feel the soft muscle, you can feel the soft palate. Okay, until there you can feel it hard on your roof. You can feel the roof being hard, and at some point towards the back you can feel the soft area. Okay, and from that's where the cough is being emitted, and this cough you have to pronounce it heavily. Aq, aq, qa, qi, qu, aq, qa, qi, qu. Okay, for these heavy letters or any of the heavy letters among the 7, there must not be any movement of the lips except when saying it with a dhamma. Okay, why? Because with a dhamma, we need to pout our lips to give the u sound at the end. So it's qu. And with a fatha or a kasra, you must not move your lips. Okay, if you move your lips or if you give any movement in your lips, the sound is gonna end off with a W sound, like qua, like that, or qi, qi, like that. So there must not be any movement, and this qaf fatha must open up your mouth and must end off with the a sound, not the o sound. It's not ko, not ko, it's qa, qa, aq. Okay, we have waqafa. It's not waqafa, qa, no. If you are also using, saying it with the o sound, that means you are still using your lips. Okay, you must not have any movement in your lips. The sound must be thick, it must be heavy, and when you are for fatha, you must open your mouth. For kasra, you must lower down. Your lower jaw must be lowered. Qi, qi. Okay, and for this cough, you have to raise your back tongue. Okay, you have to raise your back tongue in order to get the heavy sound. If you're not raising the back of the tongue and saying this letter, it's going to sound as qa, qa. This is incorrect. We have to make the sound heavy. So you can only make it heavy by raising your back of the tongue. Qa, qa, waqafa, waqafa, haqqan. It's not haqqan, haqqan. That means this qan, I'm not raising the back of the tongue. Haqqan and qul, qu, qul. Okay, so this qaf is a heavy letter. And from the same place, aqsal lisan, from the back of the tongue, we have another makhraj for this letter, kaf, al-kaf. Okay, this one is the same back of the tongue. It has to touch the upper hard palate. Okay, for kaf, it's a light letter. The back of the tongue has to touch the hard palate, and this letter, when we pronouncing it, we have to let the air flow with it. Ak, ak. It's not ak, ak. No, it's ak, ka, ki, ku, ka, ki, ku. And it's not k, and it's not ka. Okay, we should avoid these two extreme sounds. Kataba lakum dhikraka. Dhikraka. Kataba lakum dhikraka. It's not dhikraka. Dhikr, no, it's dhik. Dhik. You must give time when there's a sukun. Okay, sukun basically means you are hitting two of the makhraj point. You are just stopping on the letter and you letting the sound flow. Okay, so with the kaf sukun, the back of the tongue will go touch the upper hard palate and the tongue is resting there. Okay, so when the tongue is resting there, the sound flows through with airflow. Dhikraka. It's not dhikr, it's dhikraka. Okay. Next up, we have wasatul lisan, the middle tongue. From middle tongue, we have one makhraj point. Okay, and three letters. So these three letters comes from the same area. Okay, so what the definition? The articulation point is where the middle tongue touches the roof of the mouth. Okay, so we have three letters, which is the jim, shin, and ya ghairu maddiya. Okay, so for all three letters, the middle tongue, okay, the middle tongue, it has to touch the roof of the mouth. Okay, so this yellow area, it's the roof of the mouth. We will see one by one. Okay, firstly, we have al-jim. Okay, when we are pronouncing this jim, we should only use the middle of the tongue, and this jim is a letter of strength. Okay, it's not aj, it's aj, aj. Okay, ajma'in, ajma'in. Okay, when we are saying this letter, we have to make sure we are using the middle part of the tongue, because many of us have the tendency to use the front edge of the tongue where the sound comes as ajma'in, the j sound. This is incorrect. It's aj, ja, ji, ju, aj, aj, ja, ji, ju. Okay, waja'alna, waja'alna, jibali, jibali, yakhruju, yakhruju. Okay, if you're saying it light, if you're going to make this letter sound light, okay, that means not with enough strength, it will sound waja'alna, ja, ja. There should not be any ja sound for jim. Jim is a letter of strength, so it has to come out beautifully as waja, ja. Okay, from the same makhraj. Okay, we have the sheen. A sheen, it's where the middle tongue touches the roof of the mouth, and okay, once it touches the roof of the mouth, this sound is produced, okay, with gush of air. Ash, ash. From the place it touches the roof of the mouth, from there till the tips of the top front two teeth. Until there, this place, the sound and the air is gushed forward. Okay, so your front part of your mouth inside your teeth is filled with air when you're saying shin. Ash, 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 sha, she, shu, ash, sha, she, shu, sharri. It's not sharri, sharri, no, sha. Okay, sha. Al-farashi, al-farashi, shuhuban, shuhuban. It's not shuhu, shu, no, shu. Next, we have the ya, which is not the ya mad. Okay, why we have specifically said it that this is not the ya mad? Because in Al-Jawf, okay, in Al-Jawf, we studied about the mad letters, okay, where we have the alif sakina, we have the waw sakina, and the ya sakina. Okay, those three are used for elongation, to lengthen the sound of the haraka. Okay, for ya sukun, okay, the ya sukun was used for to lengthen, right? Like ar-rajim, ar-rahim, for that. But this ya is not the ya, because in al-jawf, the sound of the alif sukun, waw sukun, and the ya sukun goes through the empty space in throat and the mouth. Okay, but this ya, this harf ya, it's easier to identify it as harf ya. It has its specific place of articulation. Okay, whereas the madya does not have a specific place. The jawf itself, it's named as a estimate, approximate makhraj point. Okay, but this harfiya, it has its own specific area of articulation, which is the middle tongue. Okay, for ya, the middle tongue is will be touching the roof of the mouth, but there will be some space in between, very minute space. Okay, and when we sing this ya, there must not be any z sound, like I, no, it's I, ya, yi, you. Yi, no, it's yi. لسعيها, لسعيها. The sound of the ya must be clean. Ya, yi, you. I, ya, yi, you. لسعيها, لسعيها. يحسب, يحسب. يسرا, يسرا. You. If you are saying it correctly, for ya dhamma, you can feel your tongue is being almost touching the roof of the mouth, but you can feel the air in between the tongue and the roof. You. Okay. Next, we have the hafatul lisan, the side of the tongue, or also you can say the edge of the tongue. Okay, in here we have the first makhraj for letter dad. I have seen in many notes and lectures where the lecturers say dad is like the difficult letter for Arabs and non-Arabs to articulate, because it's one of the difficult letters. But I would say with enough practice and with proper practice, and if you are getting used to it, if you feel how the letter is pronounced, if you feel where your tongue is being placed correctly, then you can get this dot, inshallah, very nicely and perfectly. So you will see this dot. Okay, I'll just put this image here so that when I read this little paragraph here, then I will show you the image also. So just follow my cursor. It is articulated from one of the sides or the edge of the tongue. So like I said, this hafatul lisan, you can either say it as the side or the edge. Okay, so either the left side of the tongue or the right side of the tongue, or from the both together. So either you use your left side of the tongue or the right side of the tongue, or you use both. Okay, and what lies opposite to it is the internal of the upper molars. That means literally you are placing your edge of your tongue on the molars itself. Okay, and you have to give pressure. You just push your tongue. Okay, this image is the top of our mouth. Okay, so this is our top front tooth teeth. It's just picture taken from beneath. Okay, if you just insert a camera inside our mouth and you take it, so this is just the top of our mouth area. This is our top front two teeth. We have the left side of the molars and the right side of the molars. Okay, the blue squares are the area of pressure from the sides of the tongue. Okay, so this left side and the right side, you just press your tongue against the molars. Okay, you can use it easily by just one side. Just press your left side or your right side against your molars and say, but it will be much easier, and the load is more heavier, I would say, if you are using both sides of the tongue. Okay, if you're using both sides of the tongue, it will prevent more of the air flowing through. Okay, if you are using one side and you are not doing properly, you can hear this sound as law law. Okay, this sound it's not heavy enough. Okay, even though you are giving pressure to your one of the side, um, it's not heavy enough, because lot is a very heavy letter. So if you are using both side, the dot will be more heavier, where you say da, da. Okay. So for this, you have to use both side of the tongue, press it against the molars. Okay. So the sound flow, how is it? Is from the vocal cord, and the sound is more compressed between your roof in the top of your tongue. Okay, it is compressed for a while and then you're releasing with a heavy sound. For this dot, you need to raise your back tongue. Your back tongue has to be raised. Okay, if you are not raising your back tongue, the sound will be like there, there, like this. Only if you raise your back tongue, the sound will be produced as do, do, ab, do, di, do. With kasra also, your back tongue has to be raised. Okay. Anqadha, anqadha, do. Okay, you can feel it when you pressing against, when you're pressing your tongue against your teeth. You just need to press it, push, and then let the letter come. Do. Al-ardu, 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 wadduha, wadduha, du, wadduha. Okay, for here we have the yellow squares where your tongue, this is where your front edge of the tongue has to be placed, but you should not be giving too much pressure here. Okay, more of the pressure is given only to the side of the tongue, pressing against the molars, the tip of the tongue. Okay, the front edge, which is until this part. Okay, do you see this yellow part over this my cursor? So until here, the tongue must not be given any pressure against the gums, only the side tongue. Okay, only the side edges of the tongue has to be given pressure. Okay, the second makhraj for hafatul lisan goes to al-lam. Okay, al-lam, where you only use the front edge of the tongue. Okay, the front edge of the tongue, which is nearer to your mouth area, it will be touching the gums of the front top 8 incisors. Incisors means your teeth. Okay, again, we have the top view of our upper roof area. Okay, so this tongue, our tongue's front edge, okay, is touching the gums of the top front 8 incisors. Okay, the sound will come out as al, al, la, li, lu, al. Okay, if you're going to fold your tongue back and put it here, okay, I'm just going to show it how. Okay, if you're going to fold your tongue till here, okay, this area, do you see? It's going to be placed at this part. Okay, at this area. Okay, if you're going to place it there, the sound is going to sound more heavy. Al, al. No, we want your tip to touch this part of the area. So this is exactly where your tongue has to touch. Al, al. Okay, this is the correct sound. But if you're going to roll your tongue back, okay, if you're going to roll your tongue back and place it here at this part, the sound is going to be al, al. Okay, watakulu. This is not the sound we want for lamb. For lamb, the sound must be la, li, lu. Just you have to touch the gums of your upper front 8 incisors. وَتَأْكُلُونَ وَتَأْكُلُونَ لِرَبِّهِ لِرَبِّهِ فَعَلَ فَعَلَ. It's not فَعَلَ la, no, la, فَعَلَ. And for lam with the fatha, the sound must not go la or le. It's not fa'ale, fa'ale, no, la. And with the kasra, you must complete the kasra. Li, li. It's not li rabbi is li. Okay, so this is how we pronounce the lam, and we have come to the end of part A, inshallah. Next lesson will be about Al-Lisaan part B. Okay, we will learn about Tarful Lisan in that part, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum warahmathullahi wabarakatuh.